Hey there, friendos. We just got done seeing Venom: The Last Dance, but it's not our last dance. We're gonna be keep coming here as long as there's movies coming out. We have some thoughts. Mighty Morphin Power Priestess. Sorry, you were standing on my left side.
Hi. Okay. So, this movie was okay. So this movie was trying to be two different movies. And the two different movies didn't quite gel until like the third act. Too many new supporting characters that they're trying to get us to care about. But one supporting character we do care about. Miss Chen, she a real one. So I enjoyed the bits that were supposed to be corny. The bromance between Venom and Eddie was there. This movie was a movie. I don't know what else to say. It was just okay. It's like the first movie was hilarious. Second movie was funny. Third movie had jokes. And the jokes were chuckle worthy, but I really want you to see the movie, but if you don't feel like you gotta see it in theaters, don't feel obligated. Don't feel obligated. Watch it later, laugh, chuckle, but yeah. And on to you.
Alrighty, there were jokes. There's gonna be some more jokes, but this next person, they're not a joke. You take them seriously. Sassy Black Feline, you're up next.
That was corny, but yes, I'm wearing my Venom fit because I love me some Venom, and I wanted to go out and support the movie because I like Venom. Piggybacking off of what Taisha said, I feel like the jokes were they were good, but it wasn't like the previous movies where it was like but I think I enjoyed it. I like seeing all the other symbiotes. That was like one part of the film that I really did like. But yeah, I mean, it was just a tiny weeny bit lackluster. But if you're a fan of Venom and all of that, definitely go watch it. If not, I mean, I feel like it's not like a movie like, oh my God, I have to go, see it. But, if you enjoy Venom and you want, to see humor, comedy, then yeah, spend your little $7 on a Tuesday, and watch it at a movie theater. I actually did like the second movie a little bit more, to be honest. I'm gonna have to go and rewatch that movie. I loved it. But yeah, there is a post-credit scene and a post-credit scene also. But the post-credit scene, like the last one, kind of really didn't make any sense. Especially if this movie is supposed to wrap everything up. But I'll be interested to see what they do with this movie and see how it ties together with, Spider-Man and Friends, because the post-credit scene, one of the post-credit scenes from the last movie was supposed to tie in together with that. So I don't know, but I'm interested to see how they would, tie that all together, because I'm waiting. I'm waiting a little bit too long for that. But yeah, that's just pretty much it. If I were to rate the movie now, okay, out of 5, I would give it a 3. 3 out of 5.
Okay, so some continuity stuff, right? At the ending of the second Venom movie, they do a little teaser about Eddie getting pulled into the main MCU because of the events going on in Far From Home. And then in the beginning of this one, he gets pulled back into his regular universe, right? Now, there was also some end credit stuff that suggested that a bit of the Venom symbiote got left in the MCU when Brock got pulled back into the main universe. And when people were seeing the trailer, they were like, hey, that's a continuity error because it shows not Baron Mordo picking up some of the Venom symbiote. And they're like, hey, that's not even supposed to be in this universe. It's supposed to be in the other universe. And they explained that by just Venom leaving even more of his goo behind. But none of that matters because that doesn't even tie into the plot. They go and they show that Venom's leaving his goo behind, but nothing comes of it. It doesn't mean nothing, right? Apparently, they're picking up all these other symbiotes from a separate meteor from the one that was in the first movie. Or maybe it's the first meteor, but I don't think it's the first meteor because they made it very explicitly clear that all the other symbiotes had died except for two because they kept trying them out on hosts that were not compatible, right? And then now, and also in this movie, it seems like everybody's compatible with every symbiote. No one got rejected by the symbiotes. And in the first movie, they made it a whole big deal about how hard it is to find a compatible host for the symbiote. Now it's just the easiest thing in the world.
Sorry to interject, but maybe it was because they, the xenophage, whatever.
The xenophage?
Yeah, so I guess it really didn't really matter. They're just, okay, let's just, fight these things. People's lives are at stake.
Yeah, but I don't think, but the incompatibility from the symbiote and host, I don't think it wasn't portrayed as like a choice that the symbiotes would make. It seemed like it was just a thing. Like sometimes they were just compatible or not. At least that's how the first movie portrayed it. Now this movie portrayed it as though it didn't matter. They just had a bunch of symbiotes merging with any old body.
Yeah, just had mad people just morphing into symbiotes. They just had different colors.
Yes. Yes, we even had a fusion symbiote, which was pretty fun. But then they were just all fodder. Like all the symbiotes just got jobbed by the one xenophage, and then a bunch of other xenophages came in and started mopping the floor with everybody. And yeah, it was just like a whole lot of just stuff happening. Like the jokes were still good, right? I laughed at most of the jokes. When it was being funny and silly and lighthearted, the movie was good. Like that bit where he's dancing with Miss Chen, that should have just been the whole movie. Like all this edgelordy, dark era, 90s comic book bullshit that they were trying to do with the sacrifices and the sadness and tying Null into it was just a waste. Like Null was such a waste of a villain. Like first off, Null is like a more modern villain. I think his arc happened like maybe, I don't know, off the top of my head, 5-ish years ago or something with his business. And first off, I did not like that arc in the comics. I thought it was so edgelordy as it was, a symbiote god and, Carnage with the swirly dew on his head. Wasn't into it. And they did an even worse version in this movie. I have no idea why they decided Null should be the main villain of this movie. I don't know why they keep making other symbiotes the villain of these movies. It's just bad decision after bad decision. Null doesn't even do anything. He stays trapped in his little area, and he's like, oh, I need to find the codex so I could be free. And then they're trying to capture Venom alive because of that. And then Venom dies at the end of the movie, and then Null's like, oh yeah, I killed Venom. That's exactly what I wanted to do the whole time. So it's like, what was even your goal in this movie? So yeah, the actual plot that's supposed to give stakes to this movie, utter nonsense. But all of the humor and the lighthearted stuff, that's still pretty enjoyable. I liked Martin and his family. They were pretty fun. I liked Miss Chen, she's always great. The running gag of Eddie constantly losing his shoes was pretty funny. Like, all the humor worked. None of the serious stuff worked. So if they would have cut this movie down to like 40 minutes, it would have been perfect. But they added all that other bullshit, made it lame.
I liked it.
I don't know why it was trying so hard to take itself seriously. When it was trying to take itself seriously, that's when it lost me. Like, no, way too late for that. You were a screwball comedy in the first one, the second one, and now all of a sudden, ooh, our hearts, pulling on it. Don't do that. Stop it.
Yeah, like if
Stop
anything,
being phony. Like,
right? Like if anything, I thought the second movie did a better job of it because it was like Venom and Eddie were still comedic. Like all of their scenes were just straight comedy, and the serious stuff was only when it was Carnage and Screech together. Like their plot was serious, and that's where your like pathos and Scream, his love interest with the psionic power, with the sonic powers.
It's Shriek.
Shriek, that's the one. Yeah, Screech is from Saved by the Bell.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P. Dustin Diamond. But yeah, their plot was serious while all the Venom stuff was still silly. To have Venom and Eddie try to be serious together was nonsense. And there was also kind of like a few plot threads that I felt like they just kind of dropped out of nowhere. Like that part that you guys both pointed out where Eddie was speaking like Venom. Like that seemed like it was going to be a thing. Like, oh, are their personalities merging more now? Are they going to stop seeing themselves as two different people? But no, that was nothing. They just did it one time and then just pretended like it never happened. And then when Eddie kills the one military lady in self-defense and he feels really bad about it, and you think that's going to get him to some sort of realization like, hey, I don't have this whole lethal protector stuff in me, it's weighing too heavily on my conscience or whatever. But no, that doesn't really end up doing anything for the plot either. So yeah, I don't know what this movie wanted to do, but whatever it was trying to do, it did not accomplish it. Aside from the humor, like I said, I like the jokes a lot. So whatever. I would say wait for it to come out on Crackle or whatever the Sony streaming service is and just watch it there. We'll see you at the next one. Whoop!